Welcome back to another episode of Getting to Know the Schwantzes, because I've got a special guest with me today. MsShwantz has graced us with her presence today to do some questions that you guys had from last time. So keep the questions coming if you want to know something from either me or MsShwantz, or maybe something from the both of us. Leave it down in the comments section and we'll try and get to it. Now, there was a lot of questions last time, so we're only going to go through about a dozen or so. I don't want to keep these too long. As you see, I'm rambling on already, so let's get right into the questions.
You always ramble.
Jorge Casaleon, can we see you two? Yes. See, look, right on the screen. There's you two. There's Bono and Adam Clayton and Larry Mullen Jr. and The Edge. Who the fuck names themselves The Edge? How pretentious of a douchebag do you have to be to name yourself, or Bono, too?
I like The Edge and Bono.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
It's just because they're Irish, isn't it?
No, not just that.
You like some of their songs.
I do. I do.
The only song that's remotely listenable for me is Sunday Bloody Sunday. But you like that song, right, too?
I do.
Because it talks about Irish history, and you're all into the Irish history and whatnot.
Exactly. You know me so well.
Well, I know you, but they don't know you, so that's why I'm trying to lead the question to go down a route of...
I don't know that much about you, too. So.
You do know Irish history, you don't know you two.
Yes.
All right, fair enough. So that's you two. If you want to see more pictures of you two, you could Google it online. I'm sure that's not what he actually asked, but hey, I decided to turn it into a punny joke. Anyway, River Robbins asks, what are the 3 best and 3 worst things to do on a first date?
So I think the 3 best things to do, and this goes for like guy or girl, is be respectful, ask them questions, compliment them. Compliment them on something. I think that just goes a long way. So do you want me to do worst things before you go on to best things?
No, I'm going to do best things. I will follow that up with one of the things that, I mean, at least for a guy to do on a first date is at least offer to pay for the entire meal. If not, at least offer to pay for everything. 9 times out of 10, if you just are like, yeah, we'll split the check, then the girl's going to be like, what the fuck is this bullshit? Which is really weird in how gender roles are structured and whatnot, but
yeah, you're right, because I think had you offered to pay we didn't really have a first date, but if you had offered to split the check, like the first time, like it was supposed to be a date, it would have been weird. I would have got mixed signals,
Well, you say, hey, let me get that, and then usually the girl will counter with, no, let me pay for half, and then you compromise.
Well, if the girl's like good, if she's not like a gold digger, she'll be like, let me pay for half.
Yeah, right.
But
you don't want no gold diggers on your first date. Another thing would be to listen, to not hog the airspace. I know, since you know a lot about yourself, the impulse is to just yap away sometimes, but I think it's good to have a 50-50 split in airtime. And
that's what I said, ask questions.
Well, that's a little bit different than asking questions, right?
Okay. Well,
so,
it's more like ask
listening,
questions about the other people.
Listening,
right, you got the
good.
other part is the listening. Okay.
And hold the door open for people. And say please and thank you and mannerisms and all that stuff. So what are the worst things to do on a first date?
No unwanted sexual advances. I would say that would be number 1.
Well, how do you know it's unwanted?
Well, just because a girl's going out with you doesn't mean that, like, you have possession of her whole body, and vice versa. You'd be surprised. I know you don't think so, but as a girl, you get some creepers. And you'll know if it's wanted. She'll give you signals. There's a classic of they're attracted to you. They look at both your eyes and your mouth. It's a triangle on your face. That's
really? I did not know that.
Yep. Yeah. You do that when you're first attracted to someone. I don't think we do that to each other anymore, do we?
I will try and pay attention to it now more often. By the way, we are probably the worst people to ask this question because I haven't been on a date in 8 or 9 years, maybe.
Yeah,
because right after I got out of a serious relationship, which lasted about a year and a half, I didn't go on any dates before I met MsShwantz, really, or not. Should I say not rather met, but started dating. and started hanging out with more often.
Yeah. Well, that'll go down to, don't we have a question of, like,
yeah,
how
we
did
have
you
a
meet
question.
your wife?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's kind of like how you met. Well, that's not how we got engaged,
So,
but yeah, whatever.
We'll keep going.
So anyway, my number 2 would be kind of what you were saying, don't talk about yourself all the time. I was reading one of those, like, I think it was a Tumblr or someone's Twitter account, and they were overhearing a first date, and the guy just went on, and he was a pretentious asshole, and he did not ask the girl a single question about herself. And the last one, I don't really know. Just kind of, you know, don't wear too much cologne, maybe. Or perfume.
Yeah.
Because that can be kind of overwhelming at, like, dinner.
Yeah. Because taste has to do with your nose as well as your mouth, right? Isn't that the thing?
Yeah, but also, like...
You don't want, like, the Acqua di Gio souffle or whatever.
Yeah, well, also, like, what if she doesn't like it? Like, a lot of your attraction also comes down to your scent. Like, I know you think I'm crazy, but I love the way you smell. Like, not when you're dirty, but, like, you know.
Yeah.
That you're, you know, that's part of the attraction, so.
All right, so bad things to do on a date. Look at your phone or check your phone at all.
Oh, that's a good one. I do that too all the time. I'm a terrible date.
Yeah, you did that at dinner tonight. Like, we went out and you were looking at your phone for just a little bit, not for a lot of bit, just for a little bit.
I was Googling whether you could take vitamins on a plane for our trip. So whether I needed to keep the vitamins
Snakes on
in
a
the
plane,
bottle.
no. Vitamins on a plane,
Yes.
yes.
That's what I was
all right,
doing.
so more bad things to do on a first date is to get rowdy with the staff or get thrown out of anywhere.
Yeah.
That's like, even if things go wrong, you know, you could show that under pressure you can work with it. Or if, like, the service is not very good, there's no reason to get angry. That's something that you could talk about going into the next thing.
I would say at a number 4, don't be rude to the wait staff. If I was on a date with a guy who was rude to the wait staff and wasn't really understanding and didn't kind of take it in stride, that's a no. I would die.
Plus, you should never fuck with people that prepare your food.
Well, yes, that. But, like, it just kind of shows that you don't have respect for other people.
And I would also say, in general, the last worst thing to do is talk about ex-boyfriends, girlfriends.
Oh, yeah.
Although the question might come up, so you might have to, but don't volunteer information like, by the way, I was engaged at one point in my life. They don't need to know that on the first date.
No, not on a first date.
The next question comes from Sam Unruh. Question for both Schwantzes. Which languages do you speak?
English.
Motherfucker, do you speak it?
I'm really terrible. It's not that I haven't tried to learn languages. I've actually tried to learn 2 languages, and I'm terrible at both of them.
Well, which are those other languages?
German and French. So I know bits and pieces, but
Ein bisschen
of German and un peu of French. But I'm really tired. Language is not my forte. Like, you're really good at language, but nothing clicks for me there, so it's really difficult.
I'm very good at languages. I know English. I took Spanish into my college years. I was actually going to minor in Spanish until I found out it was too much extra work that got in the way of my binge drinking. So I'm pretty well versed in Spanish. And I know tons of programming languages like Java and C++.
Oh, God.
And I also know its and bits and pieces of many different languages. For example, Hakuna Matata. That's Afrikaans. Tomo Arigato, Japanese.
We know a little bit more Afrikaans, right? Oh, maybe no, just a
No, we know the clicks.
Yeah, we tried to learn the clicks on our honeymoon.
I know all these different languages. I know Polish, Nostrovia, or that's Russian too. So
I know I tried to take Irish, the Irish Gaelic. Yes, the Gaelic. Well, it's Irish. Gaelic, the Gaelic club at college had someone come in to teach Irish. And I tried. But again, I failed.
A laggy Scotsman asks, what is your favorite accent and why is it Scottish?
I do like a Scottish accent. I like all sorts of accents.
What is your favorite accent? I mean, for me, it's a bit biased because I loved going there, but South African accent was awesome.
I was going to say the same thing. But honestly, I can't distinguish
the Chav accent?
A South African accent from an English accent.
Really?
Yeah, it's really hard.
Certain words and certain phrases.
Yeah, so if they say those certain words and certain phrases
while
they're talking to you. Yeah,
That's Australian.
But it was so funny because when I was in London, they would tell me that they couldn't tell if I was Australian or American. So that's
Really?
so weird.
Yeah, no,
Because it's so, I
you'd
feel
figure
like
it's
it's so
obvious.
distinctive. But I think that as a, thinking about it, how it is from us to them, it's the same
well, I mean,
way.
even within the United States, there's the Minnesota Nice, oi, yay,
Oi, yay? No.
Minnesota Nice.
No, you're totally ruining that.
Sorry.
It's okay.
And then there's a redneck accent,
Southern
accent.
Southern accent is the closest to American accent to British.
Like the Jamaican English accent, man. And shit
Okay,
like that.
stop. Just stop now. Before you dig yourself into a hole. Actually, you know what? I like German accents.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like home to me a little bit. I have a lot of German people in my family.
All right. Jet Diamond. Does your wife game sometimes? Not really, right?
No.
We kind of answered that last time. And
Yeah.
would you ever go to Japan? So the next couple of series of questions are people wanting us to come to their, I guess,
Wherever they
location.
live.
Yeah.
Bucket list.
Because we had said in the last Q&A that, we have gone to a few different places. So would you ever go
Wow.
to Japan?
I would, actually. That's one of the few Asian
Not
countries
China.
I would go to. I do not want to go to China. No offense to anyone out there. It's not for me. I've
MsShwantz is a pretty picky eater.
Yeah.
And Japanese food she could do.
yeah.
Chinese
I could.
food, not as... Although American Chinese food and regular Chinese food are two different things.
Yeah, no, it is. But I don't know. With my last job, without giving in too many details, people quite frequently travel to China. And I know it's a little bit different going there for work, but it just didn't sound like something I would enjoy doing.
Okay. XV the Don, would you ever come to Portugal? I actually have been to Portugal before. I've been to the Algarve region of Portugal. I don't remember what city exactly it was. I'll have to put it in the comments section after the video because I don't want to mess up the recording now. But I went there for a friend's relative's wedding, so we were in the beach region over there. And we had some crazy times. And everybody there, because I knew Spanish, so I was trying to communicate to people in Spanish, because Portuguese is kind of like Spanish plus French. So when you try and speak to people in Spanish in Portugal, they're like, you sound like somebody who's a retard in Portugal. They were like, please stop. Just speak English to me. It sounds much better. So.
Nope, sorry. That was my phone.
It's okay.
I'll turn it off now.
Unprofessional.
I'm very unprofessional. I didn't realize. I forgot.
So would you ever go to Portugal?
Yeah, I think it's on our list, right?
It's on the short
It's
list.
on not well short list. Short list is
How
pretty
short
long.
is the list?
Short list is pretty long. Yeah, you have had lovely things to say about it. I think the next European country that we're gonna try to get to is Spain, just because there's so much to do. We only have a week to come, so.
We'll
It's like we'll do Spain and we'll go back and do another week in Portugal. I just feel like only spending a couple days in different countries is too little.
Yeah.
I'd rather stay in one country for a week and maybe
Especially
see a few different
with
cities.
places that have such long histories.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, exactly.
All right, so Lasse Benzone, last of the would you ever come to questions. How about Denmark? Copenhagen is such a nice city.
I would go to Denmark. I think my grandfather is from rather close to Denmark. He's from Bremerhaven in Germany, and I think that's pretty close.
Near the border?
Near not near the border, but like the same type of coastline, same type of vibe.
Gotcha.
So it's like
I would
my
like
motherland.
I would like to go to Denmark. I love Danish.
Danish?
The breakfast food.
You love Danishes.
Yes, I love Danishes, so therefore I'd like Denmark.
Okay.
Renegade Warlord, any drunk stories from MsShwantz?
Oh my God, so many, so many
do
stories.
you have a one that you like to tell in particular?
Ooh, none that I would want my nephews to hear. Hello. Because I
Too
don't want to
late.
set a bad example.
Oh, I've already set such a bad
oh,
example.
I know. That's why they love you. And a couple of them were a little embarrassing, like the time I threw up on someone at a bar. I don't remember doing that, by the way. That was a blackout night, and unfortunately, it wasn't before I was 21. It was well after. I don't know, drunk stories. My favorite drunk story is a time I got drunk at a Ranger game with a boy who I thought had a girlfriend, and we wound up making out in Penn Station.
Well, that could have been the answer for the next question. How did you meet your wife?
That's not how you met.
That's true. That isn't how we met.
That's how we hooked up.
That is true.
Started making out in Penn Station. Yep. That's it.
Swagger Badger asks, my question is, how did you meet your wife? So we actually first met at a mutual friend's party. I think we answered this question in a previous Q&A, so yes. I'll give the Cliff Notes version, and I'll put the longer version down in the description so that you can listen to that whole Q&A. But basically, we met at a party with mutual friends. I stole her camera and then proceeded to take pictures with it, including several naughty pictures. And when she confronted me about it, I accidentally dropped it as I was going to give it back to her. And she was less than thrilled about
I think my exact words were, "You're a fucking asshole. You fucking break my camera. You're buying me a new one."
So things got off to a very auspicious start between the both of us. We didn't hang out very much during college, but then after college is when we had started getting to know one another better, because we still had mutual friends, and at that time we both kind of had relationships that were less than...
Well, in college, when we initially met, we both like kind of had a thing for other people.
Right. That
we needed to work through.
Right. So it all works out in the end. And then the next part is, could you do a face cam for the Q&As? I've done a face cam for Q&As before, and people were like, this is weird. You're speaking on the screen. So that's why I haven't done one since. Also, it's really hard to edit the video to sync up the face cam with the commentary, then make it so that it doesn't interfere with the gameplay or the question. It's just for logistically speaking, it's kind of a mess. And then there's the whole...
I don't want to be on camera.
MsShwantz is not a huge fan of being on video.
Nope.
You know, because then you have to put on...
makeup.
Well, you don't need makeup, sweetheart.
Oh,
you look
that's really
so good
cute.
Without it.
No, I would need makeup. It would have to be like full makeup too, like full on, like what I did for the wedding. So
in other words,
reflected perfectly off my face.
So in other words, we'd have to go to the Mac counter and get the girls to do you up before.
No, I can do myself up. I'm really good at makeup.
All right. And then he's got another third question. Also, what do you guys enjoy doing together?
Oh, I don't know. We don't really have a lot in common.
Which is
funny. Weird.
Yeah. But
because we're married.
One of the things I think we really do like doing together is going to breweries and trying different local beers. So we're very much beer people. MsShwantz does not like wine and does not really like liquor. So, I mean, I will drink wine and I will drink hard liquor, but I've always been more of a beer person. So it's kind of perfect in that we like to go to local breweries, and if we go on vacation somewhere, we'll seek out, a place that brews their own beer to have.
Well, I think that's also the other fairly obvious thing we like to do together is we both really love to travel.
Right.
Like, we really love to travel, and we like hockey.
Yes.
We like some of the same music, and I would note some. We like some of the same movies. I like way better movies than Brian does. Brian's favorite movie is what, Gone in 60 Seconds?
It's The Hangover.
Oh, is it The Hangover now?
Yes.
That's probably one of mine too. Oh, wait, there's something we have in common.
Yes.
But other than that, besides that, what's your other favorite movie besides being The Hangover? Gone in 60 seconds.
Yep.
And mine is Star Wars. So.
Yeah, she's much more of a nerd than I am.
Total nerd.
Star Wars trilogy, all that. Not Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
All that stuff. Yep. You could ask any and all. She likes watching Game of Thrones. I can't watch that
love
shit.
Game of Thrones.
I can't do it.
Oh, so good. So good.
I think we'll have to have you on a podcast one time talking about Game of Thrones, because the other co-hosts like talking Game of Thrones, and I
could do
have
that.
No idea.
Maybe could do that. Unless would I be on video?
Yeah, it would be video.
Ooh. Maybe
you could just put my face just sitting there.
I'm just gonna have a paper cutout of Brian,
like a Brian on a stick.
Brian mask. It's gonna be a
Schwantz
Brian
on a stick.
Exactly.
GovHQ, have you and or MsShwantz watched any anime? If so, which ones? No, I'm not. No.
I'm not really an anime person, but I really love Howl's Moving Castle. I love that movie. I know, it was like...
I have no idea what that is.
I know, I watched it, and I watched it before we met, but it's such a good movie. I was actually looking for it on Netflix or on Amazon Prime, and I couldn't find it. It made me really sad.
Well, I'm going to write that down as a potential birthday and or Christmas present, so thank you, GovHQ, for that idea. Shout out to him with that question. All right, classic rocker. If you are the catchphrase king, would you say MsShwantz is the catchphrase queen?
Absolutely not. Nope.
I think she has one and only one catchphrase.
What is that?
Preach it!
Oh, God.
So, I don't know how this came about, but...
This is so embarrassing.
This is a drunk story, so we'll tell it.
I wasn't drunk when I said it. Oh,
this
God, I was not.
Makes it even better. So... Around my friends, I have stupid sayings just like I do in video games. Like, one example would be, you know, take that, or yes, sir. Like, if somebody would say something stupid, I would just yell out these things. So, I don't remember what was even said, but all of a sudden, from in the background, you hear truth, and I was just like, what the fuck? And then I turned around and I was like, what? And then she goes, preach it! And I'm like, oh my goodness. There it is. The birth of the catchphrase queen.
I have
MsShwantz.
never seen you laugh so hard.
Oh, it was fucking hysterical. It was so funny, I didn't even remember what the occurrence was. I just remember...
like way more funny what I said than whatever happened.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I think we were driving up to New Hampshire. I don't know why I remember. I think we were driving up to New Hampshire.
I don't know. But yeah, that's MsShwantz's catchphrases is truth and preach it.
And it only is every once in a while. It's a rare occasion. It's when I really want you to laugh.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's only to you. No one else.
All right, and last but certainly not least, Leo, DJ, FJ, FJR, JR. From all of the colors in the rainbow, what is your favorite number in the alphabet?
Okay, so I understand that question's supposed to be confusing, but I'm going to take it in a three-piece. My favorite color is green. My favorite number is 13. And my favorite letter in the alphabet is Q.
Why Q?
I don't know. I just like it.
Yeah, but Q is always associated with another letter afterwards.
I don't know. I just like writing it.
Okay. I guess...
Are you looking for logic in this question?
No, I'm trying to, yeah. Favorite color in the rainbow, navy blue, even though it's not in the rainbow.
In the rainbow.
It is, indigo.
No, Roy G. Biv. Okay, so you can say indigo.
That's what we should name our kid, Roy G. Biv.
Roy G. Biv. No. I like how now it's like from like, that's what we're going to name our kids. So maybe if we have kids. No, that's the name of our kid.
That's it.
Oh, God.
Roymond G. Biv.
Nope.
Favorite number? 27, obviously. Alphabetical? I like J, because I write my capital J's strange, like stranger than everybody.
Oh,
I got
really?
a little hook on it.
I want to see how you write your J's now. I don't think I've ever seen this
put,
before.
I'll put a picture up on the screen of me
Wow.
writing a J.
Oh.
See, I do that.
Yeah,
I don't know where I picked that up along the way, but
know.
I do it all the time now.
Interesting.
Okay. That is certainly interesting. Hopefully you guys have been interested the entire time, so thank you for your questions. We have about 6 more on the docket, but if you have a question for us for next time, please leave it down in the comment section and we will definitely try and get to it. So, is there any other final closing comments?
No.
All right.
Sorry.
Well, we've been the Schwantzes.
Bye.
Off like C.J. Wilson's finger.
Oh, wait, C.J. Wilson.
Yeah, he's the guy who blew up one of the guys.
Wasn't it
JPP? Yeah, I've used that guy already.
Oh, okay. All right. Yay, Brian.
The end.
The end.